Integrating a decision-based learning assignment into your course can be a challenging but worthwhile task, and you may not know how to begin. In this video, we will discuss multiple ways to help you integrate DBL into your course to greater benefit your students' learning, such as scaffolding. Start with supports that fade over time. Interleaving. Learn new material while practicing old material. Synthesis. Practice what they have learned holistically. Integrating. Insert DBL activities in a learning management system. To help your students begin to develop their own mental structure to support their decision-making ability in your course, you can use what we call a scaffold approach. A scaffold approach means that you provide a lot of support initially as students engage in solving problems or any other number of action-oriented activities in your course. Eventually, the scaffolding will come down as students are given opportunities to do more and more on their own. Decision-based learning supports a variety of scaffolding techniques for students to experience and for you as an instructor to choose from. As you become familiar with these techniques, it is important to remember that it is not encouraged for you to use all of them, but to choose a combination that can be refined over time. Here are some examples of scaffolding you can use in your DBL model. Immediate feedback without answers means that the students are told if their answer is correct or incorrect immediately. Immediate feedback with answers behaves in the same way as immediate feedback without answers. However, at each decision point, they can scroll down and see the instructor's answer accompanied by an explanation. Students can go through this without thinking by simply looking at the answers. However, remind them that if they take it seriously, they'll perform at a very high level on the exam or quiz where there are no supports at all. Specific feedback without answers, the software's default form of feedback, students work their way to the end of the model, and if at any point they make a wrong choice, specific feedback will take them back to the decision point where they made the mistake, and they can review the learning module for more help. Specific feedback with answers behaves in the same way as specific feedback without answers. However, at each decision point, they can scroll down and see the instructor's answer with an explanation. As mentioned before, students can go through this without thinking by simply looking at the answers. However, remind them that if they take it seriously, they'll perform at a high level on the exam or quiz where there are no supports at all. Limited feedback has the students go all the way to the end of the pathway, and then it tells them to start over if at least one of their decisions is incorrect. With no feedback exam, students go through the model making choices as they go but receive no feedback whatsoever. This makes the decision model essentially like an exam. No feedback open-ended allows students to choose any path they think will solve the problem, and then click on the link in the above panel where they and their classmates can explain their rationale for each decision. This works well when there is not necessarily one correct answer. Ultimately, whatever type of scaffolding you end up using can eventually give way to students working on messy, ill-defined problems in groups or through the end-of-course projects. Again, as you become familiar with these techniques, it is important to remember that it is not encouraged for you to use all of them. We recommend you use whatever combination you can feasibly do during a first semester, and then refine your scaffolding approach in subsequent semesters. Interleaving is a tool instructors can use to help the students by giving them a constant review of old material while learning new material. Each new assignment builds upon the last, like a snowball rolling down a hill gets bigger and bigger. Interleaving can take a bit of work to develop and may be better suited in subsequent semesters. Synthesis journaling within the DBL model allows the students to explain their reasoning for each choice they make. Within the task window, you can include a link to a Box or Google document. Upon entering the document, they can type their name in the first table, then click on the link to take them to the point in the document where they can type their choices for each decision point and their rationale for choosing them. Once the students have journaled through each decision point, they can provide a synthesis of all their decisions explaining their rationale for their final choice. For every problem that a student does in the DBL software, they should have an equal number of similar problems that they do outside of the model. This helps the students internalize the decision-making process in a way that works for them individually. A synthesis activity outside of the decision model can take the form of a project or case study where the students may create their own tasks or scenarios. They can take these tasks through the decision model or have experiences dealing with ill-defined or messy tasks that the decision model does not fully account for. DBL activities can occur prior, during, or after class sessions. Some faculty will have pre-class DBL activities to prepare them for in-class activities. Others will go through an in-class DBL activity, especially when the material is complex. Others use the DBL activity as a reinforcer for what was covered in class, and some use a combination of these three. Integration of DBL assignments into your course can be customized to fit your needs and create the best experience for your students. As you become familiar with these integration tools, it is important to remember that it is not encouraged for you to use all of them, but to choose a combination that can be refined over time. If you have any questions about how to integrate DBL assignments into your course, contact your DBL consultant for further instruction.